opportunity to play Vegas our way in a confined area where we had to blow stuff up, but they wouldn't restrict us or tie our hands behind our backs. It was a welcome opportunity.
When I heard about us doing a Vegas residency, I thought, what's that going to be like, especially a place like Las Vegas?
The idea of getting to play there and doing a residency was something that was intriguing and then became very exciting.
I always had a secret wish that I could be a big band drummer in Las Vegas. And so when I knew we were going to do a residency, I thought, wow, wouldn't you know, I'm actually going to be a Las Vegas drummer. The whole idea, it was fulfilling to me because it was something I always wanted to do.
Our challenge was to bring a full-scale KISS arena show into a Las Vegas casino. For most artists, that might be a little easier to do, but with a band like KISS, that's a huge challenge, and it's something we didn't take lightly.
When we tour stadiums and arenas, the most recent show involves a massive, gargantuan, Transformers-sized spider, 80 feet wide, 60 feet high, and we start at the top of it, it lets us down. But clearly, it was too big to fit inside.
We had to design a stage and a unique set for KISS that had all the feel of an arena and a stadium show and jam-pack it into that venue.
The possibilities were once again something that gave us pretty much a blank piece of paper to design something that was pretty extraordinary.
We wanted to do something that was a little more forward-thinking. We didn't want to do a conventional, traditional KISS show. We wanted to do something more with more video and more lights and more different types of effects than we've used before. Robert Long, our production manager, got together with us when we were actually on tour. When we met backstage, I remember, and had a meeting with the band and Doc McGee, and he had a presentation. He showed us some ideas for the stage set, and that was very interesting, and immediately we decided this is the direction we want to go.
This guy came up with these huge screens that can do everything, including going over the head of the people, so when you see an image, if you look up, it's that image that just surrounds you.
We wanted to take the stage and expand it as much as we could. In other words, we pushed the boundaries from left to right.
We basically put a stadium show into a small venue, and it afforded us a lot of opportunities to do things that we couldn't do practically playing the venues that we would be playing on tour. So it was exciting, and it also brought the state of the art to something that was even higher than we've done before.
So when we got to Las Vegas, the first thing we did was go to the Joint and see the new stage set in the Joint. And we were blown away when we walked in because of the enormity of it.
Technology enables you to see things almost 3D, but this size, either on a computer screen or on a piece of paper, and the color helps and the 3D helps and use the depth and stuff. But when you walk in and you see something the size of Godzilla, that it just dwarfs everything.
It looked just like an arena or a stadium stage, jam-packed into this smaller venue.
That was like 10 pounds of bologna in a 5-pound bag, if you will.
It was so powerful and so all-consuming. You were enveloped by it. So I found it really taking what we do to another level, and perhaps a level that we could only do in a smaller venue.
Once we got there, and we had a couple days of production rehearsals, that we then did expand things and we did tweak things because, for instance, the show opening was completely different.
We created this flying saucer thing that flew over their heads slowly on tracks, precariously hanging off the edge with this thing going like that. But needless to say, it was so unsafe, we only did it once. We barely made it on stage, and we had to figure out another way to do it.
What we ended up using was these great video walls that opened up at the opening, and it was a very dramatic opening. We hadn't done something like that before with the smoke and the pyro rushing out, and we were there with the walls opening.
Who wants to get some classic old vintage KISS?
We take great pride and put in a lot of work in first rehearsing the musicality, trying to get the songs that work well together.
There's a pacing to our shows that's been there since the beginning. We've always worked on the dynamics of what we do. We're in a very enviable but also difficult position because we have so many songs that are considered classics that, given the length of a show, we can't satisfy everybody. if we put in an obscure song, what do we take out?
We felt like when we were doing the Las Vegas show that we wanted to do something that really represented KISS to all people. And that meant playing the songs that people know and love and sticking more to the classics, more to the hit songs.
If I go to see my favorite band and they're not playing Stairway to Heaven or Satisfaction, I get pissed. The fact that that band on stage has played it for 1,000 shows is not my concern. I really don't give a squat. I bought a ticket, I want to hear my favorite song. Because songs, our songs, are more than songs. They're the soundtrack of your life. It's the girl you went out with, it's what happened in your life. So when you're hearing that song again, it's also a page in your diary of your life. Songs are more than songs.
Like most great KISS moments, most of them come about through spontaneity. The center of Lick It Up, where we do Won't Get Fooled Again, came about during rehearsal.
It really just evolved over time. We started out doing the blum, 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 and started doing a rendition of You Won't Get Fooled Again.
And what's the beauty of it for me is that it fits so well. It's so organic that it segues in beautifully and segues out beautifully.
But at the Joint in Las Vegas, it was great because we were able to create a lift in the middle of the stage that Paul and I would get onto that would go up and would really highlight that section and highlight that part. And it really worked great. And then we built the lasers into it to create more drama.
It's a great showpiece and a great moment in our concert.
When we were four knuckleheads off the streets of New York, we were lucky enough to get a manager early on, a guy named Bill Aucoin, who believed in giving fans more, who believed in you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world. So it was Aucoin who came to us and said, okay, which one of you guys doesn't want to spit fire during the show? And I thought he said, which one of you guys wants to spit fire? So the other three guys raised their hands, and I was there with my hand like this. He goes, okay, Simmons, you can spit fire. I go, what? Wait. And the very first time I tried spitting fire in front of an audience was the Academy of Music, 3,000 people. We were fourth on the bill, New Year's Eve, 1973. By the third song, we're doing Firehouse. And I go out there to spit fire for the first time, and the audience goes nuts. And I go, that's pretty cool. Of course, for me, it took a long time, but it was in an instant because the right side of my hair was on fire. You see, what I did before was, in those days, we had like glue hairspray, and on the directions it says, Gene, you're a complete moron. Don't put a lot of this stuff in your hair because you're going to go up like one of those matches. So I put it between, of course, and it went up. So I didn't know. I thought fans rushed me, but it was our road crew who came out there with wet towels and, saved me. And they thought, wow, this band's cool. They're almost going to die every show. Actually, you're right.
When I design or come up with a new KISS drum kit, if you will, I have to take into consideration the musical comfort factor for me as a drummer, but I also have to think of it's KISS. So there's an aesthetic look and value that is, to me, I always valued as being very integral, at least important to me, and I think fans dig it. I had Pearl make me a clear plexiglass drums with these called bright lights, LED lights built in to every drum. The lights could be programmed. So in other words, if the scheme went all blue, the drums could be blue. If everything went red, purple, whatever the color, the drums were integrated with the light truss and all the lights to change colors or moods. So it was done specifically for Las Vegas, and it was the perfect drum set for that show, in my opinion.
Anytime that we can break down the wall between us and the audience, it makes for a thrilling moment for the audience. For me too, quite honestly. When you've suddenly gone from being 30 feet away to suddenly flying over these people and landing on a alternate stage or on a platform. Anytime I can do something like that, I want to. I'm not a ham, I'm the whole pig.
Our responsibility is to make sure that if you're sitting in the middle of the audience or the back of the audience, and if you're sitting down, the only thing you will see is somebody's butt. in front of you because they're standing on their seats. That's our responsibility.
What we try to do is eliminate the wall that separates us from our audience. You are there with us. You are part of the performance. We depend on you to lift us up that much higher. So bringing a girl on stage and putting a guitar around her and playing is just a way of reaching through the screen, if you could at home, if you were watching television, so to speak, and somebody reached in and pulled you in.
That's what we always wanted to do, is to provide an experience that 5 senses. If you could smell us and taste us, and if we could crawl under your skin, that's really what we want.
So when the actual show was filmed in Las Vegas, I wasn't really involved at that point yet in terms of producing. When we got to post-production, the band asked if I could come in and actually take care of this and get involved in it because they wanted to make sure that everything was right. Putting this together, creating this concert film, was a huge collaborative effort with a great team of people, with KISS, the people from E-Rock Entertainment, and everybody else that was involved. We hadn't done anything like that before, so to go in there was treading new ground and finding a way. And I think we knocked it out of the park.
Maybe the best part of the Las Vegas show is when you look into the eyes of a young fan who may be seeing KISS for the very first time, and he or she's got KISS makeup on, and they're 5 years old, and they're on the shoulder of Dad. Man, I often catch myself turning around because you get the loving, and that's when you realize that it's more than a band, they're more than songs. There's a magic that happens there that brings families together and a KISS Nation together. And the magic is always going to be with the kids. Because if you can beguile and crawl under the skin of a 5-year-old, that's magic. And if he or she can love KISS, man, we stood the test of time.
The expectations were high, and we not only lived up to them, but every night, by the end of Black Diamond and by the end of Rock and Roll All Night, we really said it all. We really gave people a overview of the whole history of this band, and if necessary, we certainly justified not only our existence, but our supremacy. KISS rocks Vegas? Absolutely. Does anybody rock Vegas like we do? Never have and never will. Hey people, sorry we can't be there with you right now, but this is a show we're real proud of. If you weren't there to see it, you're going to experience it now.
Hey, we want you all to have a great time tonight. Don't be shy. Yeah, you can get up, shake it, bake it, have fun.
It's awesome. Watch this. KISS rocks Vegas.
Woo!